Tonight, we're getting exclusive access inside a CMPD division formed 20 years ago, designed to bring answers for survivors of sexual assault whose cases had gone cold.
It has helped victims of sexual assault who originally weren't sure their cases would ever be solved. Now, after solving hundreds of them, the unit is marking a major milestone.
Here's WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden.
From the ski mask rapist to the Myers Park rapist, they are the worst stories Charlotte natives remember, and they are cases that were cold until this unit got involved.
Yeah, I wanted them caught.
Mindy Seifer remembers the day her rapist was finally caught almost as well as she remembers the rape from decades ago.
I would like to see him suffer because he took my soul. He took a young 20-year-old college student starting life and sent me into a tailspin.
The ski mask rapist, Jerry Lee Brooks, raped Seifer in 1979. The case went unsolved for decades until CMPD's cold case sex assault unit investigated and solved it in 2012.
And that was a serial case that I worked from the 70s, and we had 9 victims just like that from that one series of cases.
Detective Troy Armstrong created the unit in 2006. There was almost nothing like it at the time. It helped that CMPD had just built its own crime lab.
When I set up our protocol, I literally copied it almost straightly from Scotland Yard in England because they were about the only ones I could find doing the same type of work.
He found case files stashed everywhere, under desks, in storage, in retired detectives' garages. There were thousands.
So these are microfilm rolls.
This file room has just some of the cold cases they're working. They tell me there are about 5 times the number that you actually see here. And these cases in this room date all the way back to the 1960s.
Among the boxes, the case of the Myers Park rapist that had stumped detectives for years.
It was surreal almost. This new advancement in technology was able to help us identify him.
In the process, the team solved another case from 1998, one so violent the survivor, Jessica Perez, moved out of Charlotte. But she says she stayed in constant contact with detectives for years, hoping for a break.
I knew every night when I went to sleep, like, is there another woman that's going to sleep thinking that her life is normal, her world is normal, and that's going to be completely upended for her. I wanted to continue pursuing it until I knew that he couldn't do it to anybody else.
Years later, when she became pregnant with her daughter and the case was still unsolved, she struggled.
And I bottomed out completely because I couldn't conceive of bringing a girl into this world and how cruel it can be. Being in that situation and not being able to make any progress in my case was excruciating.
She was stunned in 2008 when Detective Armstrong flew to St. Louis with news.
The guy that had raped me had also tried to kill 2 police officers and was now in jail in Ohio for that.
For Armstrong and the team, that includes retired detectives, a dedicated prosecutor, a grant writer, helping survivors heal is what it's all about.
They can go back out in public again. They don't have to push furniture in front of their windows and doors every night before they go to bed. They don't have flashbacks at the McDonald's because they see somebody that resembles a suspect.
Armstrong has since left the unit, but the work continues. 744 cases solved in the last 20 years.
And what we're hoping is that as the technology advances, that we're able to do something with cases maybe in the future that we can't do right now.
When you're able to look at an old case and solve it and bring resolution to it, bring a perpetrator to justice, you're preventing so many new crimes. You can't even put a number on it, and the importance of it, not just for the victims and the victims' families that you've given some resolution to, but also victims that will never be a victim.
Perez says knowing her rapist is locked up means everything to her and to her daughter.
She knows now that you can do something. If somebody hurts you like this, you can do something.
Much of the work the unit does is paid for with grants, and they're doing so well they expect to actually grow the unit in the near future. Reporting in Charlotte, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.